तशरीफ़ लाते हैं हज़रत मौलाना मोहम्मद इस्लाम कादरी साहिब और अपनी हाज़िरी पेश करते हैं। उसके बाद इंशाअल्लाह जल्द ही किबला हज़रत पीर सैयद इश्तियाक हसन शाह साहब भी तशरीफ़ ले आएंगे। हमारे पास माशाअल्लाह नात खां भी मौजूद हैं, तो इंशाअल्लाह उनका भी खिताब होगा और उसके बाद आपके लिए वसीत लंगर शरीफ का भी अहतमाम है। नारा तकबीर, नारा रिसालत, नारा हैदरी।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रब्बिल आलमीन वल आक़िबतु लिल मुत्तक़ीन वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला रसूलिही मुहम्मदिन व आलिही व आले बैतिही व अस्हाबिही अजमाईन। अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। सुब्हानल्लज़ी अस्रा बिअब्दिही लैलन मिनल मस्जिदिल हराम इलल मस्जिदिल अक़सल्लज़ी बारकना हौलहु लिनुरियहु मिन आयातिना इन्नहु हुवस्समीउल बसीर। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम व सदक़ रसूलुहुन नबियुल हबीबुल करीम व नहनु अला ज़ालिका मिनश शाहिदीन वश्शाकिरीन। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। Brothers and sisters in Islam, ulama ikram, sadat ikram, today is Miraj Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, and what a beautiful speech you heard before me by the Sheikh Saab and Qari Saab. Today is a day that we rejoice and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He included us in the nation of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Brothers in Islam, whenever an event takes place, whenever there is an occurrence of a situation, there is always three things that you should look at: the cause of that event, the text of that event, and the conclusion, what we achieve at the end. And how beautifully Sheikh Saab before me, he put it, that what led up to, what was the cause of the night of ascension, Miraj Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We understand from our archives that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this was not the first ascension. We understand that some scholars say that this 34 ascensions before this had already occurred. Some say that it's in the 40s. So what was most spectacular about this Miraj, this ascension, and what was the timing that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his bodily form went to the skies? And how Sheikh Saab before me put it, that it was the saddening, the whole year that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mourned his beloved uncle and his blessed wife. The very uncle, Abu Nuaym, he explains to us a narration from Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas. He says that when Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was born, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, he takes Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he places him in the lap of Sayyidina Abu Talib alayhi salam. And he instructs Hazrat Abu Talib that you are the guardian of this blessed child. And this is a hadith. This is the narration that was narrated by Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas, and Hazrat Abu Nuaym, he collects this. And he says that you are the guardian of this blessed child, and it would be your duty to guard him. And on the day of judgment, I shall hold you to account. And what a beautiful service Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam did, that he protected Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he serviced and he provided every type of sanctuary for Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam throughout his whole life. And he was very attached to Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So naturally, when the departure of Hazrat Abu Talib happened, when he left this materialistic world, it affected Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This was, and you see, all of these narrations that we see that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was tormented by the kuffar Makkah. This only happened after the departure of Hazrat Abu Talib. While Hazrat Abu Talib, there is no narration. You will never find a narration that he was tormented. It was only after the departure of Hazrat Abu Talib and his blessed wife, Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra salamullah alayha. She was not only a wife, but she facilitated the promulgation of deen by way of her language, by way of her associates, of her clan, her family. Everybody she influenced. She coerced them to help in the promulgation of this deen. And by way of her finances, she supported Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So naturally, she was not only a blessed wife or a lovely wife or a companion, but she was the first torchbearer of Islam that sacrificed everything she had for the promulgation of deen. Brothers and sisters in Islam, this was what led up to the occurrence of the ascension of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was saddened. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was invited by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ascend to the skies. And Miraj, there is three occasions. It is split up into three parts. The first is from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. This is the first, and this is what is discussed in Surah Bani Israel. And the second part of this is the ascension from Bait al-Maqdis to the skies. This was the second. And then, as Qari Sahab has informed you, that this was I'raj. I'raj is something that is beyond our comprehension. Not only I'raj, but Miraj is beyond our comprehension as well. And even the Isra is beyond our comprehension. And this is the introduction. This is the cause. And the matter of the night of Miraj is that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he voyaged throughout the existence. You shouldn't use the word journey, because journey is from one point to another. You don't understand what is going around you. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was paraded throughout the existence, throughout the creation, and all the angelic society, the prophetic society, all humanity, all the persons living, all the creatures living on the skies, on the faces of the earth, they were made to parade and salute Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And this would bring me to the conclusion that what was the purpose of Miraj? The purpose of Miraj, we know, Qari Sahab even in today's Friday sermon, he discussed that many gifts were exchanged. Some of the gifts were given to the nation. Some of the gifts were given directly to the Sahaba. And there were some of the gifts were given to very special personalities, like Sayyidina Ali Karamallahu Wajhul Kareem. But today, there is not enough time for me to open that chapter. But the archives tell us, it is only us that we don't explore our archives. We don't open up the books. We don't buy books. We buy gowns and hats. But we should buy our books. We should study them, and we should learn them, and we should teach them, and then we will understand the true meaning of Miraj. What is the true meaning of the Miraj? There was one benefit of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He enjoyed the meeting with Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The title of Habib was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And there was one purpose, that gifts were sent to us. We was given the gift of Salat. We was given the gift of ayats of Surah Baqarah, like Qari Sahab explained. We were given salams by the prophetic society, like Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. But what was the purpose of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? And he succeeded. He pleaded, he supplicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that his intercession, his shafaat should be accepted for his nation. And he pleaded that his nation should be forgiven. And this was accepted. But there was an attachment, there was a clause that we should show love and affection towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And everything that is attributed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whether it even would be a tree, whether it even would be the city, the blessed city of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whether it would be the blessed companions, and mostly would be the family of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So brothers and sisters in Islam, this was the gifts that were exchanged. There was many other, there was voluminous. And Qari Sahab was saying that today's topic would be لِنُرِيَهُ مِنْ آيَاتِنَا. This min, and this is Hazrat Mufakkir Islam, every time you talk about linguistic sciences, it is natural that Hazrat Mufakkir Islam, he comes, he explains to you. And this min would be min tam'iziyah, and this would be nahv, syntactical analysis. And what would this mean? This means that when this type of min occurs, it means that what is discussed, this is limited. What is not discussed, it unlimited. Meaning the ayats, the blessings, the signs, the symbols that we are aware of today, that were discussed by Quran Majid, Furqan Hamid, and Hadith Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are limited. But if we say that the ones that were not discussed, like for example I'raj, what was discussed in I'raj, it is limitless. There is no limit to the blessings that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw. This is the meaning of min tab'iziyah. You see, so Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam paraded throughout the existence, to creation. And then there is narrations to say that Rasulullah, and this is well-known narration, that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was brought to Masjid al-Aqsa, and the assembly of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam were assembled, and then he led them in prayer, then he descended. But there is also narrations that on the way back, Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also met the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. So what would be the logical deduction of this? That we understand that the going of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the parading, the seeing, the visualization of all the supernatural phenomena of the existence, which were only meant for the eyes of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nobody else, only Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I explained this last year, alhamdulillah. So I'm not going to go through it again. So you see, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam visualized the entire existence. And then on the way back, all the possessions were vacated. They were handed over to Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just to explain to us. And this would be the conclusion of the night of Miraj, that it was just to not only to show humanity, but the angelic society, but the prophetic society also, but the entire existence, that Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, he was the condition, he was the shart of the existence. So without the shart, there is no existence. It was just to show the splendor of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the grandeur, the glamour of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in what regard Hazrat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this was the conclusion, that not only humanity were penetrated, he showed that I am not like you. If I was like you, you should travel with me to the Baitul Maqdis. But when he went to Baitul Maqdis, he descended. He ascended towards the sky, just to show the angelic, the prophetic society, that none of you, although you are my jins, you are my brethren, but none of you are like me. So if you are like me, ascend with me. Come to the skies. And then when he went to the skies, he showed the angelic society that if any one of you angels are like me, let's go to I'raj. And they gave up. And even Burak is from the word bark. Bark is sifte mushabba. And sifte mushabba is a relative clause. And this would mean, and Ibn Hajib is Shafiya. Alhamdulillah, I have this book. And this is Hazrat Mufakkir Islam's blessing as well. Alhamdulillah, maybe there's not very many people that have Shafiya. But Alhamdulillah, I have it. In Shafiya, it would tell you that when one word is used, the form of that word changes in sarf and additional letters are attached to it. The attachment of additional letters mean that the meaning of that word has additional meanings. So barq would be electricity, but the word barq was not used, it was burak. And the burak would mean that this was not common electricity. This was not the speed of light, but it was far beyond the speed of light. And you have to see the caliber of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, that he saddled this light, he saddled this burak, and it gave up. When he went to Sidratul Muntaha, he says that I can't go any further. This is my last station. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, by inference, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained to the total creation that if anything in, because you see shart is always outside of what the shart is for. Like for example, wuzu is a shart of namaz, but is wuzu a part of namaz? So ulama will tell you it is not, because it is outside of namaz. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but this creation that we know, we comprehend, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam's status was far beyond this creation. And this was just to show that the shart of the kainat is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So therefore, I would say the words of Qari Sahib again, that if you pay homage to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, respect, honor, salutations, not only to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but everything that is attributed to Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then you would flourish. Then your existence would increase. But if you was to turn your faces like the angel, Qari Sahib said, even if it is the angelic society, this would be your doom. This would be your downfall. So today, from this blessed gathering of Miraj and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we take away this message that Miraj means the splendor of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It means the grandeur of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the effulgence of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam's noor. And if we partake in promulgating this splendor, this would mean that we would prosper in this society. And I think my time has expired. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.